I was contacted by Silkland. They sell a lot of stuff on Amazon in Canada and Amazon in the USA. So I've actually seen a lot of their stuff before. They contacted me and asked me if I wanted to review a couple of their cables. This was extremely well timed because I actually just picked up a 4090 Legion laptop that supports HDMI 2.1, and I want to be able to hook that up to my monitor with HDMI 2.1. So they actually offered to send me an HDMI 2.1 cable. I'm going to use that with my new laptop to hook it up to my new 4K screen. It's a 4K 144 Hz refresh rate screen, so this HDMI 2.1 will come in very handy for that. So this is going to be used for that purpose there. I'm also going to test it with my PS5 and my Xbox Series X. And they also offered to send me over a DisplayPort cable as well, which is perfect as well because I'm going to be using this on my desktop. I can use it on my laptop as well with a dongle or something, but I'm going to be using the HDMI cable for that because that's perfect. The DisplayPort cable is going to go into the back of my desktop and go into my new screen as well. You can get these readily available on Amazon Canada and Amazon in the US, Amazon.com. I'll put links in the video description. This isn't like a paid collaboration or anything, but I'll put some links down in the bottom to show you where you can get them. So this is the DisplayPort cable, nice braided cable. What's the length on this one? This is a 6.6 foot DisplayPort cable, which is perfect because I have a 3-foot cable. It's really short and the quality is crap. So this will be perfect. This will allow me to hook this up to my monitor and have my desktop a little bit further away. This is like an 8K or 16K capable cable. It does 80 gigabit, which is extremely high. So 4K, you should get you should be able to get 240 Hertz on a 4K screen. So I'm recording this in 2023. It's not common to find 4K screens that refresh rate. They do exist, but I mean, if you watch this video in a year or two, you have a 4K 240 Hertz screen, which is pretty awesome. This does support it. So that's that there. And then this is the HDMI cable. It's and this one's even longer. This one here is 10 feet, which is perfect. But I think for a lot of people, you know, you might be using this with your desktop. You might be using this with your like PS5, you know, or your Xbox. So this is a perfect length here, 10 feet. I think 6 feet would have been okay, but 10 feet's even better. It's a nice braided cable, obviously nice and thick. It's got, this is actual metal. Yeah, that's actual metal there. Doesn't appear to be plastic. That is real metal right there, which is nice. So obviously, you know, attention to detail is very high on these. This isn't some like random brand. These guys actually make good stuff, and they're very highly reviewed on Amazon. So when they reached out, I was like, yeah, obviously I was going to buy your stuff anyway. So we'll do a few tests with the HDMI. First, we'll do obviously the laptop hooked up to the monitor. That's a good one. And then the HDMI, and then the DisplayPort will hook up to my graphics card. So you can see how tight this cable was back here. It's just some generic DisplayPort cable. I don't even know where I got this. It just came with something, I don't know, and it's not very good. So you can see what I was working with before. You know, this like kind of annoyingly unmalleable cable. Just some generic DisplayPort. I don't even know where I got this from, honestly. I feel like it just came with something that I bought. You know, it's fine for like generic 1440p or whatever. When you start to get into high-fresh 4K, it's always nice to have more. And this is the Silkland one. And it's much more malleable, which is nice because it's going behind my computer. And that really dense cable was weirdly unmalleable. This is good. This is my new screen that I just bought. But, I mean, 4K as to be expected here. And we get the full refresh rate, 144 Hertz. I don't know. So 144 Hertz over 4K. The thing is, it's not just that it's capable of doing 144 Hertz. This is well within the ability of this cable. If someone buys 8K or even 16K, you're going to be ready with this cable. So, you know, 16K is way off, but in theory, 8K is not way off for monitors and for screens. And with an 8K screen, you're going to be able to still do high refresh rate because this is able to do 240 Hertz at 4K. So substantially higher than what it's doing right now. So when you get up to 8K, you're still going to be able to do high refresh, 120 Hertz or so. You know, it's an 80 gigabit cable, so it's going to last me for years and years and years. And because it's like a braided high-end cable, this is the HDMI, it's going to last for years. It's not going to fray or get all gross and that weird plasticky type thing. So, I mean, realistically, I'm going to have this cable probably for the rest of my life. Let's be real. And you can see here I'm hooked up to the monitor now via HDMI coming out of my laptop. This is HDMI 2.1, so it's 144 Hertz and it's at 4K. Now, this is a HDMI 2.1 cable, so this is more of a test to just see if it works well, which it does, and like the quality of it, it works perfectly fine. Get something like this that's, you know, capable of doing very high refresh rate 4K and or, you know, 8K at a moderate refresh rate, and then, you know, you're not gonna have to upgrade down the road. You just have the cable and you're good to go. And there we go. We're plugged in the back of my Series X, and this is a 120 Hertz 4K screen, and you can see here, obviously the cable is able to do that, 140 Hertz. It says there requires an ultra high speed HDMI cable. So obviously the cable, I mean, as long as your TV supports it, you're good to go with your Series X or your PS5, obviously. Funnily enough, I actually have my Series X here that I got used back there, and it didn't come with an HDMI. The person actually kept it, and so I don't have an HDMI cable. So I've actually been swapping between my PS5, which is right there, and my Series X back and forth because I need a good quality cable. And so now I have one. This one actually has a nice cable already. Now I can finally hook up a nice HDMI 2.1 to that, and I'm good to go. So if you have a Series X, if you have a PS5, if you have a very high refresh rate, 4K screen, whatever, this is a really nice cable for it, and the quality is really nice. Yeah, so what do I think about these Silklin cables? In general, they seem very, very good quality. So they have all kinds of stuff. I mean, you can check out their like Amazon storefront or whatever. The actual cable design is very, very premium. You know, it's a braided cable. It's not like this cheap kind of plasticky crap that's going to get all sticky and, you know, it kind of like, I don't know, gets like warped or something and it gets stuck in weird positions, or cheap or whatever. So, I mean, it's a really, really premium cable in terms of the build. That metal head on this is really nice. If you have a PS5, if you have an Xbox Series X, you're going to want to have a high quality cable to ensure that you get those high refresh rate 4K. If you get a cheapo cable, you're not potentially going to be able to actually push the bit rate, so you're not going to be able to get 4K at 120 hertz. And going forward, you know, we are going to be getting to the point where potentially 4K screens get up to like 240 hertz. This is 140 hertz. This was kind of unheard of not too long ago. We're going to get to the point where 4K is up to, you know, 240 hertz refresh rate. And people may want that, to be honest, down the road. You get to the point where you have ultra high refresh rate 4K screens or, you know, 8K screens, as it says. Both of these cables are going to be able to push the bit rates you need for 8K content and still get good refresh rates. You know, the DisplayPort technically does 16K, so you can push 8K at a high refresh rate, which is really, really nice. So good cables. I actually do recommend them for even just day to day. You know, why buy a cheap cable? To be honest, these are not expensive. They're not expensive on the website. Pick them up. You're good to go for years to come, and the quality seems really good.